online for Cyber Talks today. We are planning to talk about Chief Information Security experience and the preparation of modern Chief Information Security officers. Just some words about my background and profile. I'm an IT consultant. I've been a Microsoft certified trainer for 20 years. I'm a security MVP for cloud data center at Microsoft. And I delivered security projects in many countries. Actually more than 25, I think. And as an CISO Instructor, I was helping thousands of cybersecurity professionals to certify as ethical hackers, forensic investigators, security analysts, licensed penetration testers, and happy to be awarded for 2 years in a row as an Instructor of the Year. I did receive the Global Award. I'm involved in delivering a security consultancy for commercial, military, or government organizations. And recently, I started something new and challenging in the same time for me, a new project, helping Chief Information Security Officer to improve their knowledge and to certify. It's actually a challenging mission for me, I think, because it's something different from the training experience I had previously. Why I'm saying this, CISO, it's something that should consider as well in the preparation process, some business skills. Fortunately for me, my MBA background, PMP, Prince2 certifications, and ITL certifications are helping a bit. But what about the audience for CISO preparation classes? Well, actually, it's a mixed audience. You should expect this. It's a very mixed audience because some attendees they do have a technical background and they are planning to switch to make a change in their career, moving to the management stuff. And some of people they do have a project management background, for example. Some other guys are even in the position of the CISO and they want to improve their skills and to be more efficient in what they are doing. So the audience is very heterogeneous. This is challenging, but at the same time, it's a big advantage because it's creating a better interaction and it's improving quality of conversations. The guys are enjoying playing active roles, building scenarios and creating strategies for for their preparation. So actually, I'm not a standard trainer for such class. I'm just a facilitator. And well, comparing Chief Information Security Officer preparation versus similar preparation like CISSP, yeah, we could see some similar domains, but in the same time, there are some differences. I think CCISO preparation, including just 5 domains, but has some advantages, is more comprehensive related to the CISSP preparation. For example, it's including governance, policy, legal and compliance domain, and as well, which is very important, finance and strategic management domain number 5. Let's have a short review of the main domains included in the CISO preparation. The first one, we're talking about, domain 1, we're talking about governance, policy, legal, and compliance. We're talking about information security governance activities, how to match business governance considering security governance in an organization. So we do learn a lot about the regulations, frameworks, security laws, and actually we have to understand very well the difference between a policy, a standard procedure, or a guideline document, a formal documentation that you should be aware and you should be very familiar as a future CISO. And based on the area where we're delivering the training, we have to include as well some specific regulations. Like, for example, if you're delivering the training in Europe, definitely we have to consider GDPR regulations that you, as a CISO, you must be very familiar with. The second domain, it's about risk. It's a very important domain. We are handling risk management, risk treatment, audit management. We're discussing about the risk management frameworks, risk communication, and so on. Because actually, if you're considering risk, there is a big dilemma for any CISO. It's security versus productivity. Yeah, because you have to consider anytime functionality of and usability of the IT systems you are handling, you are managing, you are building, designing, and operating. And in the same time, you have to consider the security features. So you have to keep, as a CISO, you have to keep the ball in the middle. This is the only efficient strategy. And you are acting as a buffer between the business management in an organization and the technical management, including security management in an organization. This is not a very easy job to play, but you must be very aware about this very important role in your position of a CISO. Next, we're talking about security project management and operations. So we are talking about projects, programs, portfolios at the security operations level. So it's very important if you do have in your background PMP certification, any kind of project management certification, PRENS certification, PMP certification. It's very important to consider that if you want to be an efficient Chief Information Security Officer. And yeah, for example, the ability to identify in any project, in any process you are managing, to identify the stakeholders and to understand their position that may be different, and to identify the position which may be responsible, accountable, supportive, consultant, and informed, and to consider this position, because it's very important to consider all the roles of the stakeholders and their different positions, potentially different positions in an organization when you are implementing projects. Yeah, we have very efficient conversations about how to avoid mistakes when dealing with security stakeholder, which is very important. You need some personal skills, very good communication skills as a CISO to handle this kind of stuff. About information security project management and operations. Yeah, this domain is more related to the technical stuff, and some attendees, they do have some technical background, are very happy with this. Honestly, even for me, because I do manage some experience as penetration tester, I can provide them some real case examples. We have to analyze some specific countermeasures. Even if you are not involved directly in, for example, handling threats, applying patches, and so you should be familiar with the technical stuff in your organization you are managing. based on my experience as a penetration tester, I'm trying to scare them with playing effectively some scenarios like this one, bad USB, and we're trying to build practical scenarios how to avoid such very dangerous attacks, considering some basic technical skills, strategies, policies, and procedures you are implementing in an organization. The last domain we're handling during our preparation, it's about strategic planning, financial management, vendor risk management. It's a very important collection of topics, because as a chief information officer, you should be familiar with financial stuff. You should understand the return of investment, how to calculate net present value, to be familiar with the internal return rate, and basically some financial background is helping you a lot. As well, vendor risk management is very important, and we're considering the process of vendor management, because typically we're talking about the golden triangle, people, process, and technology, but some frameworks like, for example, ITIL are extending this golden triangle with very important component, partner management. And this is very important to consider, especially if your organization is approaching cloud strategy, for example. You should be familiar with all those stuff. I mean, strategic planning, financial management, and vendor risk management. This is very important value of this we're delivering during this training. So actually, we're delivering a such class in 4 or 5 days. Personally, I do prefer 5 days because time frame. Why? Because we have so much time for discussions, and it's very important to build strategies, to build case studies, to do even wargaming during the class time. And if you're considering the preparation of a modern CISO, yeah, you could have a conventional CISO strategy. I mean, business alignment, strategic plan, operational risk project, and executions, of course. But you should add something more to be an efficient CISO. You should add third-party impact consideration, like regulations, for example, outsourcing, staffing, and some unknown risks to consider anytime that could influence your activity. For example, business strategies are changing, yeah? The market is changing, there are new business decisions. You have to adopt a holistic strategy as a efficient CISO in your organization. How to consider some additional preparation and scenarios besides just the content, official content of the training. So I think this is the most important value you can, the most important value you could add during the conversations we have with the future CISOs in their preparation programs. Probably you are familiar with such infograph, and you could identify some case studies here. Relevant breaches, for example, Equifax, it's one of my favorite case studies to analyze because, yeah, in my opinion, in this case, it was a perfect match between the inability of the management to be aware at the basic security policy enforcement requirements and the inability of the technical staff in that organization to handle security processes and procedures. So actually, it was no effective CISO role in that organization. Another very important things to consider building a CISO strategy is this one to prevent and assume breach in the same time. So preventing breach, the traditional strategy is not very efficient anytime. You could add something extra. I mean, assuming breach. It's very important to consider bug bounty programs, to support wargame exercises in the organization, to build scenarios of life-side penetration testing in organization, to consider threat intelligence in order to build an efficient defense strategy in organization as an efficient chief information security officer. Wargaming, it's very important. We are trying during the class to build to play some war games. So dividing the people in different teams like blue team, red team, management team, CISO role position and so, and presenting them, building some scenarios that may be efficient in the situation of the crisis in an organization, for example, or when you are implementing new changes in an organization, and to make the teams to work together or to play against in order to build an efficient strategy. It's a very valuable strategy in building a scenario of preparation of an efficient chief information security officer. Case studies. So we are relying a lot of dividing people, the attendees in the classroom, in teams, and inviting them to build case studies. They actually do have some time. We're considering some time to prepare the case studies, and after that, inviting them to present the case studies to the class and inviting to debate, to have an interactive conversation about the strategies, about the countermeasures. And I have here just some screenshots of the titles of the most appreciated presentations built by our attendees during the class preparation. For example, considering blockchain and the potential information security challenges related to this. So considering advanced persistent. So why we're still unprepared? It was another very important, very interesting case study presented by one of the delegates. Why still mature organizations are still unprepared against sophisticated attacks, very vulnerable, considering, for example, advanced persistent threats scenarios. Or, for example, we had a very interesting case study prepared by one attendee. He was in the position of CISO in a large organization, global organization, and they are doing business in different countries. And he presented us some scenarios about the challenges they are seeing when they are trying to build a global infrastructure and secure infrastructure in the same time, because you know, in some countries there are some restrictions of data transfer or data communications, including VPN connection opportunities, setting up some secure connections, and so it was definitely a very interesting case study. And another one I can give you as an example, analyzing a day in the life of CISO. Time management, for example, if you are as a CISO, you are involved in managing different projects. That may be very challenging sometimes, and you should be very prepared to handle the stress of a CISO regular day. Another very important topic. We had a lot of conversations during our classes we delivered. This one of considering the challenges related to the shadow IT, for example, because the business environment is changing now, and shadow IT it could be assimilated to a behavior that you could see in any organization, and you have to implement different strategies in order to make people to defend our assets, because people are tempted to use application and to avoid the policies. And what kind of strategy you could build inside the organization to avoid this? And another very interesting topic we discussed a lot during our class preparation. It was related to building a human firewall, empowering the users to involving the users in the security strategy, building the human firewall and making them more efficient in defending against social engineering attacks, for example. And we have to consider here a very important, behavior in an organization. If you're familiar with this concept of ABC, attitude, behavior, and culture in an organization, so even considering the culture in an organization, in any organization, could be very efficient for a CISO to build the efficient strategy. So another very interesting topic to discuss during the class preparation, CISO class preparation, it's definitely this one related to cloud adoption, yeah, because this is a big major challenge for any kind of organization. So if you're looking at this report, lack of resources and expertise is the main concern related to cloud adoption to any kind of organization. But security, it's handled at a different level in this report, yeah, because cloud beginners are more afraid to use about security of cloud services, but in the same time, the cloud-focused company, they do have some experience. For them, the security is just number 5 in the top of the challenges. So very interesting conversations, and we've been able to build based on the different experience of the attendees. We had the opportunity to discuss a lot about sharing responsibility in the cloud adoption scenarios between the cloud consumer and cloud providers, as well considering different positions here like cloud auditors, cloud brokers, and different positions by different roles, and roles that may be played by different partners here. And as well, different topic we've been able to handle. We had very interesting conversation about the involvement of artificial intelligence and machine learning using such modern technologies in order to be more efficient in blocking threats and attacks and building an efficient strategy. How a CISO, a modern CISO, could be involved in building an efficient strategy related to machine learning and artificial adoption of machine learning and artificial intelligence in their organization. So I think I was able to handle in a short time some topics we did address during class preparation of Chief Information Security Officers, and definitely I think this kind of class, based on conversations, building scenarios, work games, is the best strategy. The people enjoying those classes definitely, because beside the theoretical stuff we're discussing, and there's a lot of information to learn for exam preparation, we have the ability to have an excellent interaction, and people are playing active roles. The delegates are playing active roles. I think this is the most important value a such preparation program it's bringing to the attendees, to make them to be more efficient as CISO in protecting the assets of their organizations. I'm stopping here my presentation, and I think that may be time for questions. I'm open for this.